Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you a plan with me video. Now I've not really done this before, but I hope it still works out. So I will go a little through my planning routine as well, even though it is my plan with me video. So bear with me, and if you have any questions, please put it down in the comments below, and I would love to listen to any suggestions from you as well. So yes, let's go on to the first spread. Now ideally the main plan with me section involves my weekly spreads, but I just wanted to share with you what I do with the other spreads as well. So the first spread is actually the index as such, and that is exactly what I use it for. I won't show it to you in this video, but you can check it out in my flip through videos that come out every month. What happens over here is I highlight whatever happens in the daily spreads, that is my journaling section, and what I do is I just do it once a month, okay, on a random date when I feel like it. So this is not something I come to on a daily basis, and I don't have a specific date for coming here. It is quite completely random, but that is something that you could probably do. Maybe choose a specific day like the end of the month, or do it on a daily basis. I'm not really sure whether that is easier, because I don't feel much difficulty doing this once a month when I feel like it. So that is how I'm going with that spread as of now. Now moving ahead to this spread, which is the monthly spread. As you can see, March is surprisingly an empty month. This what you see here was pre-planned long back, that is in the month of December. I do this every year. All the 12 months monthly spreads are set up in December of the previous year, and that is simply because by setup what I mean is birthdays or anniversaries, and a washi covering the days that are not there. So these basics are set up in advance, while other things like bills or maybe events that suddenly pop up, they come up as the days pass, and I just add in them accordingly, because this will be an overview of the month for me later for future reference. So as you can see now, it's largely empty for March. This is the month of March. I just have one anniversary here, and I've just covered up the dates that are not there, and that's it. As far as the monthly spreads are concerned, what I do is at the beginning of each month I just refer to it just to check out what are the events that are there. Now since this is the only event in March, what is likely to happen is I will just put this as a reminder in my weekly spread, so that I remember to message or visit or gift that person accordingly, so that I just write it over there. As of otherwise, I do not refer to the spread at all. The only times I come to the monthly spread are when events pop up and I need to add them over here for future reference, or bills come up and I need to write down the dates that the bills are paid as such, and that's about it. Now there are some things I can add in advance and some that I do later once it is completed. So for example, on the 3rd I will be buying the EC SSB, or the seasonal surprise box as such. So I'll just highlight over here with green, and green because that is the color I choose for whatever I'm spending on stationery as such. And I'm just going to write EC SSB. I have not bought this yet, but I know that I'm going to buy, and this is something that I'm sure I'm going to buy. That is why I've written it in advance. Generally I write it if I've bought something, as in after I've bought it, and I write specifically which company that I've bought it from. Generally I stick to writing just Erin Condren or Hobonichi, and that's it. I don't explain it, but I just thought I would write SSB so that I know that I got the seasonal surprise box, or I'm going to buy it. This is for me to track how much I am spending on stationery in a month. I am not going to write each and everything that I spend in a month on this spread, because that is not relevant to me as such. Now I just wanted to show that to you, but as of otherwise, not much to do here, because weekly planning is what I do largely, so I will go to that. But if you want to see this completed spread later, you can refer to my flip throughs that I do. So the Jan flip through is already out, Feb 1 will be out soon, you can check that out later. Now let us go to the weekly spreads. Now before going to the weekly spreads, you can see that I have these bookmarks sort of thing over here, or book darts if that is easier, which I place on every month, okay, or every spread that I want to refer to. So I have 3 in my Hobonichi. There is one on the monthly spread, the one on the weekly, and one of course for the daily spread that I am using as such. So let's move ahead to that. I have one over here, as you can see, and this is the week that we are going to set up now. As you can see, I've already written something over here. This is actually a mistake that I made, so I'm just going to white out that. Now I kept this over here so that I wanted to share with you what I do with mistakes that I make. Now there are 2 things that I do often, okay, or 3 for that matter. In this case, you can see that I used whiteout simply because I use whiteout when I need that space for something else. So in this case, I am going to have a habit tracker over there, and keeping it there would be troublesome for me. But in case of other errors, like if I make an error while I'm journaling on the daily pages, I don't white it out. I don't use whiteout on that, simply because what I do instead is draw a line across what went wrong over there. Now you might feel that it is a little messy. Truly I do not mind it, because I don't have that perfect Hobonichi Cousin where it's perfect and there are no mistakes. I make mistakes. I try to not make it too messy. For me, drawing a line across it is not very messy, because I try to draw a neat line around it very lightly, and frankly sometimes it can't even be noticed. So that doesn't really bother me that I've drawn a line across something and it is there on that spread. I don't necessarily use whiteout on the daily pages as such. Now there is a third category as well. Sometimes there are plans that get cancelled or postponed. In those cases, I again don't use whiteout, neither do I cancel it off with a line. Instead, what I do is I write it down maybe in red ink so that it stands out. I write why it was postponed or cancelled. So there was a trip that got cancelled in Feb, which I just wrote it as due to COVID, increasing COVID cases, and that was the reason I could not go on that trip as such. So that was that. Now coming back, I've spent a lot of time talking. Now coming back to the actual planning. So I start off with things that have to be there on every daily spread for me. Now what you see here is the Hobonichi stencil. This is the only one that I currently use. I have one more in blue, but I don't really use that one. And frankly, the only thing that I use is this sort of water drop, which they have mentioned as sad. I use it to track water, as simple as that. So I tend to do this on 3 of them on every day for the whole week. I'm going to be a little slow over here because I'm not actually using a desk. This is a little uncomfortable for me, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to share over here. So yes, 3 because it actually refers to the size of my bottle. I just need to, 3 is like a good amount for me. So as far as water tracking is concerned, okay, in terms of health, it definitely helps. It is kind of a little related to skincare as well, because I break out pretty quickly if I don't drink the necessary amount of water. I guess this does not happen for everyone, but for me, water really affects my skin as such. Now, this is something that I do very quickly. It doesn't take much time, even though it looks like it's taking a lot of time over here. So I just go through this quickly, 3 for all the days, because I like how pretty it looks. Probably I can do something simpler or more complicated than this, but I like this one. It's simple and nice. So this is the first tracker that I have. Frankly, I have more. Oh my god. And there is my first mistake. That's fine. Okay, it's not a big deal. I guess it would bother some people. Does it bother you a lot when mistakes like that happen? Like, that ink that has just spread out over there. Frankly, it doesn't bother me heavily. I think I would be more bothered if it was on the center of the page maybe. But see, you can see it over there, not really a big deal for me. Now, as far as trackers are concerned, I have about 5 things that I track, and that is it. In the sense that I try to not go above 5, simply because I tend to not do any of them in the end if I have too many things to track. Now, if you can see, I forgot that my camera stopped recording, so I kind of already did this, but I'll just go through it. The left hand side is also a tracker side section for me. So I track a few things over here, as you can see, hair care, skin care, vitamins, and that is simply because I have a lot of steps here which I tend to not follow, and I need to track them. So I just tick off or cross when I do or not do things. Same for the water, I just shade it in, okay, if I've finished one bottle, and accordingly. So the next thing after these 3, what I have is a sleep tracker, and what I do for the sleep tracker is, okay, I just go to the previous page and refer to that because I just want to know where it stops. It's easy to do that. I don't really use a ruler over here because I'm quite lazy. You can use a ruler to make it more neat if you wish to, but this is all that I do. I'm struggling a little bit because the setup here is interfering with my writing, but anyway, coming back to topic. So yes, this is my sleep tracker. So this is the number of hours on the top. I can actually see or refer to the previous page easily, and of course these are the days. It gets filled up on each day, so right now it's empty, but this is what I've done for the basics. Then the next thing, what I do generally is my spread, this 2-page spread, is actually divided into 3 parts. Okay, so if you've seen my flip throughs, you will know that I have a section for me time on top, then my main to-do list, which is the larger section, and the bottom section is for any events that come up that week. Now for me, frankly, what I do is I break off it at exactly 12 for the first half, and also at the bottom I break it off at 12, okay, noon and 12 midnight, to just divide the page into 3 sections, and it works out for me weirdly. It comes in exactly those sections, so that's how I do it. But of course you can do it once you filled it up and then break it off as required. So I just tend to draw some lines across to separate it. Not really required, but I like to do it so that the sections are separated as such. So you can see I directly go for 12 because I've been doing it and it's been working out for me. And I can actually directly start with writing there instead of doing this because yes, I should have done that, because what happens is sometimes if you write here and then begin there, the ink will spread as you move your hand around. But then I already did this, so let it be now. If it's going to spread, it's fine. Now I won't do this now. Let me finish the me time first and then I'll come to this. So what I do over here is I title it off as me time. Now I've used the medium tip. This is the EC marker pen in black, in case you didn't figure that out. So there is a medium tip and there is of course the fine tip, which I was using so far. Now I'm using the medium tip to write the title as such, which is me time. Now me time is simply things that I love to do, like watching something, movies or TV shows, or it could be reading something. Bible reading is not included in this. Last year I had included my Bible reading in this category, but this year I did not. I have a separate Bible church journal for that, so that is no longer included in this as such. But of course that is something that I do on a daily basis. Now if you've noticed my spreads, I just wanted to clarify, it is a pen only spread. There are no stickers. I can add stickers, okay, it is just that I don't really feel the need for it at the moment. Maybe I will add it on any month when I feel like it, but right now I'm fine with the weekly spreads being pen only. And one thing I'm definitely trying to stop myself from doing is buying calligraphy stickers. Initially I used to think I'll go for a simple style and I'll buy beautiful titles, you know, those stickers that come with this beautiful hand lettering, to do words like to do, events and such, and I felt that would be simple but pretty as well. But then I realized that I will need a lot of them if I'm going to keep on if I keep on using them for every spread. I just need a lot of them, which means a lot of money, and also the fact that the same area, okay, where I place it, if I'm going to place it on the same area, it's going to bulk up as well. So instead I'm just writing this on my own. It's fine. I know I don't have a great handwriting, but it's fine with me, frankly. Earlier it used to bother me a lot because there were all these pretty stickers with this beautiful calligraphy, and it looks so nice on the spreads, but then now I've stopped bothering with it. I just write it on my own and that's fine. And maybe I will buy, I'm not saying I will never buy it, but at the moment it is not really my concern. Now let's begin. So what I do is I just put an arrow and then I write down the title of the book that I want to read, okay, in short. Now currently at the moment, let me see which book I'm going to read. This gets frankly filled up as I read it, so I think I will not fill it up this time. So I just write the initials over here, okay. So whichever book I'm going to read, I just write the initials. So for example, if I'm reading The Alchemist, I will write TA and leave the line below it, because there I write the number of pages that I finished reading that month, okay. So if I'll write 1, suppose I'm starting with the first page, 1, 2, 20, maybe I've just finished 20 pages, then I'll just write 1 to 20, then here it will be 21 to whatever, okay. But I write TA throughout. I will know which book it is, it's not a big deal, because I have a library or a to be read section at the back of my Hobonichi. So that is that. I think I won't fill it now because I'm filming this video quite in advance. I have still not decided what book I'm going to read for March, so I'm not going to fill this now. I'll come back to it later. So since here the title will come, here will be the page number. I will leave this line and I will start over here. This is how it is for every spread, so I don't really need to count it. I know it by now. And what comes over here is the show or the YouTube channel or the movie that I'm going to watch. Now this, I just wanted to be clear, this is not something that I'm watching just for fun. What I'm writing over here is part of my language learning. So there is this channel that I'm watching. Again, this is the initials of that channel. I'm not going to write the whole thing over here. So currently I'm watching this channel, and what I do is I'm using my phone to film this video, so I can't actually refer to my phone. What I tend to do is I write down the name of the video I'm going to watch that day. So I write this down for the entire week. It's not something that I do it on a daily basis. I write it down for an entire week. Some days I write 2 videos, some days I write 1. I actually write it according to the space that I have, simply because the videos that are on that channel are very short. It's around like 10-minute videos at the max, and I can watch more than 2 in a day, so it's fine. But I keep it to 1 video or 2 video because some days I just don't have enough time to watch, and I don't want to feel forced to watch it. So this way, what I do is when I open my planner, I just refer to which video I have to watch, okay. I watch that and I feel satisfied that I have completed that, then that is that, okay. So it's not exactly a to-do list, I would say, but if it is there, I tend to do it. So I like to write this down. It's not really required, but when I write it down, it makes a lot easier for me to find which video I have to watch that day. And once I watch it, I feel a little accomplished that I finished watching the video, and that is that. So like I said, this is part of the language learning, so it's not like I'm just watching the video just for fun. Of course the videos are fun, I enjoy the videos as well. So again, something that I'm not going to fill up now because I don't have my phone with me, but what I generally do is this entire section gets filled up on Sunday night itself. Okay, this is not something that I do on a daily basis. Whatever I write, I tend to watch it, and that's it. Now moving ahead to the next thing, which is the second category, which is the to-do list. This is of course the largest section, depending of course on the number of tasks that I have. Some weeks not so busy, some weeks more busy. Is it weird that when I turn more busy, I tend to not use my planner? Because I've noticed that I don't really use my planner when I turn really busy as such. But what I do instead, that is something that I do, I'll just tell, is sometimes when I'm really busy, I go back at the end of the day and write down the things that I already completed, and then I just take it off for fun. So it's not like I had a to-do list in advance, but I complete it and I just write it. Again, something that makes me feel a little accomplished as such. So now what comes over here on a Sunday night, okay? There are certain things that I have to do on a weekly basis. Frankly, at the moment, I'm not going to get up from here, so I'll just refer to the previous spread. What I generally do is I have a sheet with me with all the weekly tasks as such. But right now I'm just going to refer to the previous spread as such, so that I can just go through which are the common things that were there in that week. So I can refer here and just transfer some things over there. Okay, let's see common things. Yes, this is actually quite easy to do, even though it looks like I'm taking a lot of time over here. B1 is referring to the bedroom that I have to clean. I just use short forms wherever required as such. Some things I just take from my previous spreads because it's a lot easier to do it that way. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, her birthday was on, I might as well write it before I forget it. The anniversary, I think, was on 6th. Yes. Okay, that's it. Let's see what else I can write. This largely, let me tell you, what I'm repeating over here is more of cleaning tasks more than anything. I have a schedule for it, a weekly schedule that I'm just repeating over here. I'm making more mistakes because I'm talking and I can't concentrate when I'm talking. I don't know how people do this actually. I just can't concentrate over here. And my handwriting is turning into a mess. It's not that it was beautiful, but whatever. So yes, so I do this on a Sunday night because this comes every week more or less, and there are some things I can add by looking at the previous one, so that is also there. And even though I'm writing these, okay, see, it's not like I have to do laundry on Friday. I can do it on a day before that. I do it on other days also, okay. It's just that Friday is generally the day I keep for laundry. So suppose I've not done it on other days, I definitely do it on Friday. That's the idea. But I randomly do laundry on other days. It depends on the clothes. It's not on the, that day as such. So this is what I more or less have. And as far as other to-dos are concerned, okay, they come up as the days pass. So I'm not going to write all of them, okay, because these I'm just writing so that I can show it to you. But some things I just write on each day. Maybe as things come up, I just add those onto the spread as such. Okay, there are more things that I can add. That's another thing that I do. On Sunday night when I sit with the weekly spread, I just think about it for like a minute or two about things that I need to do ahead of the weekend, and I just add them in. It doesn't take much time really, so that is something that I do. For example, let's see, on the 1st, I will get more time free from work, so I might be able to film a video on that day, edit it also on the same day most likely, and maybe schedule it instead of uploading. So that is another thing that I could do. Maybe since I'm shooting, I might as well click pics for Insta as well. I'm not really active on Instagram, but I try to post once in a while, and then like you can get to see my spread. So if I keep on thinking it properly for a while, I will get things that I can add up to here, but I'm not going to do that now because that would just take up time. So let's move ahead to the next thing. Again, I am doing the last section over here. As you can see, the last section is events. Now frankly, I am not someone who loves going for parties or any events as such. I would love to sit with a book at home anytime. That is my place of comfort, but events come up for me in the sense that church events. I am involved with a certain committee in church, and therefore events that happen in church are quite relevant to me. So in those terms, I am just writing down the events that are there this week, which are generally on Wednesday. There is one on Saturday, and there is something on Sunday. Fridays and Tuesdays, I'm not really sure, so I'm not going to write it now. So I know what is going to happen on these days, but again, since I'm writing it in advance, I can't write the whole thing now because I do not know where it is taking place. It's taking place at someone's. I know what is taking place and the time, but I do not know where because I'm writing this way in advance. The thing is, I would know it by 27th, that is Sunday, but since I'm doing this in advance, I don't really know now. I'm just filling this up to show you, but as of otherwise, when I write on Sunday, I know about it. So I don't really have other events as such, but this record is important for me because I tend to need it at the end of the year more specifically than any other time. So yes, this is more or less what I prep in a week. I know it must have seemed like very long as such, but frankly, when I do it quietly on my own, it does not take me as much time. And it's the same thing repeatedly for every week, more or less. So it does not really take me much time to do this. But if you have any other suggestions or something that would work better, I would love to listen from you as well. But this is not all. I'll just go through the daily spread. So right now, like I said, I have not really reached March. So this is March. Now, as far as the daily spreads are concerned, this is the dashboard page. I tend to randomly fill up the dashboard page when I feel like it. See, the dashboard does not have really a functional purpose for me. What I tend to do here is fill it up with quotes that have inspired me maybe for that month, or just something that I've come across and I want it over here. I don't do any other planning over here simply because this is connected to the daily pages, and the daily pages are journaling for me. So it would just feel weird for me to have some planning information here when it's so far away from the weekly spreads. So that is as far as the March monthly dashboard is concerned. I'm not going to decorate it now because I really don't have any idea in my mind what I want to be here as such. And as far as the dailies are concerned, I'll just flip through quickly for you. I always set them up in advance. So in advance in the sense that dailies are where I use my stickers. So you can see over here, I randomly place stickers. There is no connection to where I place them. It is completely random. Okay. So I've just placed it for the entire month on all the spreads because I don't use stickers as I'm writing it as such. Then I write it around the stickers, and it currently does not bother me because I'm writing very small now in comparison to how I used to write earlier, which was very big. So right now I can write around the stickers and there will still be a lot of space left. So it does not bother me that stickers are randomly placed on the spreads, because I know that I will still have space enough to write. It would have bothered me as of otherwise when I used to write quite big as such. So these are the daily spreads of March. Of course, I will journal on a daily basis, so there's nothing over there as of now. Then what I'll do later is also show you my library. So the notes pages of the cousin are my to be read section. So this is like a cover page that I made for it with a washi that I have, which I don't use anywhere else, so I covered it over here. And what I have here are my books to be read, the covers of the books that I'll be reading. So the title and the author all come in the cover as such. Now what I do, as you can see, is I give stars once I have finished reading the book. I have not actually filled this up. I write down the number of pages I have completed, because there are some books I tend to not complete. See, most of the times I try to force myself to complete it even if I do not like that book, but this time I have decided that if I drop the book in the middle, I'll just write down the number of pages till where I reached, and then just shading it for fun. I'll write down the category of the book and of course the type of book that I read, whether it was an e-book or an audible or an actual physical book as such. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, this is not in order. I can just choose any book that I want. It's just that I've placed them this way as such. So there are a few pages of this all the way till the end, and those are my to be read section. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you have any other suggestions or anything that you would like me to share in the upcoming videos, please let me know down in the comments below, and have a nice day everyone. Bye.